Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Everything is Bad New Fangled Motion Picture Show.
Welcome, one and all, to another episode of the Newfangled Motion Picture Show. I'm Niall.
And I'm Nolan.
And today we're going to be reviewing Welcome to Marwin, otherwise known as Steve Carell trying to do something that might win him awards.
Yeah.
Although I think this one's a little missed the mark a bit.
Yeah, I think so. I don't...
Like, on the surface, it looks like something that would kind of be an Oscar baity sort of movie. You know, it has some, like, real heavy themes involving, like, PTSD and...
Mental
injuries. Yeah, and stuff, and hate crimes and things like that. And so on the surface, you're like, oh, this has all the makings of an Oscar bait movie. And then it's just... I don't know. It was weird.
It's very art house. It's in this direction. It's really it's a bizarre movie.
It is very bizarre. Would you say it looked more interesting than it was more interesting than entertaining?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to describe it. Oh, sorry, forgot. We're gonna do a spoiler free. I don't know if I mentioned.
I don't know.
So we're gonna do spoiler free review. Then give you a spoiler warning and get more in depth into it. Not that there's anything to spoil, really.
Well, but this is based off of a real life person
named Mark Hogenkamp.
Yeah, so he was an artist, and his focus is illustrating like World War II things for like comic books and stuff. I guess is at least the portrayal in this, and he gets attacked by some neo-Nazis in the parking lot of a bar, and they beat him within an inch of his life, and now he has no memory from before that. And like he remembers facts, and he remembers how to do things, but he has no memory about his personal life prior to that. He thinks I might have been married, he doesn't know. And so the way he copes with that is he makes these art installations, this like town, and with these dolls, and it's all set in World War II, and he takes photographs of it, and
yeah, it's because it's all like the kind of story he used to illustrate before, but since he can't draw anymore, he can barely write his own name, he poses these dolls and action figures or whatever, and photographs it instead.
Right, and so anyway, yeah, and so when he's telling the story, or he imagines the stories that lead up to these photos, it's all animated with these dolls, like animated, living their lives.
Their crazy pulp World War II lives.
Yeah, and it's kind of like a coping mechanism for him as well. And then his life outside of that, he's got all the...
Well, and like his subconscious about stuff from the attack and stuff comes out in the thing. Like, he doesn't remember much about the attack, but you know, it's all personified. Like, those neo-Nazis are personified, or not personified, but like
represented by these
Nazis, these SS dolls. And you know, and like there's things where, you know, something will happen in the story, and someone will ask him, well, what happened today? And he'll say, and like, oh, why did that happen? And he's like, I don't really know.
Yeah, but it's his subconscious coming out. And then these dolls that are living in this village that he's created, they're all represented. Each one's representative of a person in his life.
All of them female.
Yeah. So anyway, I mean, that's kind of what's... And it's like, the main overarching plot is he has an exhibit of his artwork, of his photographs, that's going to be held soon, and there's also the sentencing of the men that attacked him, and he's got a lot of anxiety problems and PTSD and everything going along with this whole thing, and so it's him trying, and the people in his life trying to get him to attend both of these things because they would be good for him to do, and then getting to that point in his life where he, you know, is willing to do it.
Yeah, and so like all the women in the town that are representative of these women in his life, they all protect Captain Hoagie, who's him, is the representation of him. They all protect him when the Nazis show up and stuff, because these are all women who he met after the attack that have sort of helped him, sort of rebuild his life and help him get through this whole thing. So that's why they're like the guardians of Captain Hoagie.
Yeah. So yeah, it was sort of interesting the way they did all this stuff with the dolls, but yeah, I like watched it, I'm like, well, I don't really have any desire to see that movie again.
No.
You know, so yeah, it's
it felt like kind of a weird movie for Robert Zemeckis.
I guess. I mean, Robert Zemeckis directed it, but oh, he's done some weird stuff here and there. Yeah, it felt like it was a very experimental sort of movie.
Yeah, very artsy sort of thing. Definitely not something I would take my like 10 and 12-year-old daughter to, like that guy in our row. Not that there's really anything in it that's like, well, my kid shouldn't see this.
Well, there's a part where he's watching a porn film.
Yeah, it doesn't show anything.
It doesn't show anything. It shows a woman in lingerie.
Yeah.
And
there's sexual implications.
Yeah, but other than that, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a weird movie.
Yeah, it was yeah, I mean, it was. There was one thing that I guess was kind of a reveal, but it was pretty obvious from the get-go. As far as like what one of the dolls is. And we can get into the spoiler part, I guess, but like there wasn't anything in this that was like a big reveal or anything.
Yeah. It's just about this guy coping with, his traumatic brain injury and his PTSD.
Yep. So
it's getting middling reviews.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are just kind of like, at best, it's just sort of an okay movie. But yeah, like I said, it's more interesting than entertaining.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting concept. But it's yeah, it's not a fun movie.
No. It is based off a real person, though.
Yeah.
It's a very real person.
Yeah, I mean, this actually happened to someone, and that's awful.
They showed some of his work, his actual work, in there alongside, because the dolls all look like their real-life representation within this world. So, like, Captain Hoagie looks like Steve Carell. In real life, the guy didn't, when he, like, if in real life these dolls did represent a real person, he wasn't going to find a doll that looked exactly like whoever it is. But within the world of Marwin, the dolls just looked exactly like their representation.
Yeah, and well, particularly when they were being animated.
Yeah.
So, but all the doll animation stuff was neat because like they did a good job as far as like if you've ever seen action figures or dolls up close, like on that scale, fabric doesn't scale.
Mm-hmm.
So the
stitching and the weaving is just huge.
It's huge, and like all the clothing looks bulky because it doesn't fold on that small of a scale and stuff like that. That's why that's actually why Barbie dolls have the completely unrealistic dimensions that they do.
Because once you put clothes on them, it actually looks more realistic.
Yeah,
with those dimensions, like if you
had a realistically shaped doll and try to put that scale of clothing on it, it would not look like
her head would be down in her collar all the time instead of like being above the collar and
stuff like that. So I mean, they did a good job for as far as that goes. Making like just animating the dolls on that scale. I thought that was really neat.
Yeah,
the way they did that. Also, none of the guns had ammo cap. Like they didn't. Well, his revolver was the only thing that had to reload.
Only for story reasons.
Yeah, and only for story reasons. So. Yeah, so...
Yep. Spoiler warning?
Yep. So it was real obvious, like pretty much from the beginning, that the witch, the Belgian witch or whatever, was a representative of his medication, and that the reason why every time he gets close, the witch takes the person away is because anytime he tries to get close to anyone, his anxiety and breakdowns and stuff sort of drive people away.
Yeah, and he's addicted to this medication. Like, he's only supposed to take one away, but he's taking handfuls of them every day.
Yeah,
but he's only supposed to take them one at a time, or once a day. But there's a couple things I was expecting more interaction with these women in his real life.
Yeah, there's basically only two that he has.
So there's one scene with Gwendolyn Christie in the real world. I mean, she voices the doll.
Yeah.
That represents her. But there's one scene with her, and I kind of wanted more of her because I thought she could have been an interesting character. And
yeah, there's only one scene with Janelle Monáe as well.
Yeah, and that's in a flashback scene.
In a flashback scene. She helped him with the physical therapy after he recovered from the attack. But then
there were a few scenes with the
there were several scenes with the chick who ran the hobby shop that he bought all his doll stuff from.
Well, yeah, there's that, and then also the woman he worked with,
Carlala.
Yeah,
yeah. There was probably 3 scenes, I think, with her.
Yeah,
but those were pretty short.
I was kind of expecting them all to be in the sentence hearing, to be in the background or something.
Well, Carlala was, I think.
Yeah,
Carlala and the guy who owns the bar were there.
Yeah, and then also his friend from
Roberta,
the hobby shop.
Yeah, she was there. Although I didn't see what's her name? Nicole?
No.
Well,
at that point, they'd had that awkward scene where he tried to propose to her.
Yeah, I know, but still, I kind of expected her to be there anyway.
I was expecting, at some point, Nicole's ex-boyfriend to come and, destroy Marwin.
Yeah.
I was expecting that to happen. Because, first of all, he's jealous that there's another man in his ex-girlfriend's life. But then he thinks Mark is a Nazi because there are Nazis in his art installation.
Yeah. When in reality, it's just World War II, and they're the bad guys anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, there was a bunch of scenes with Nicole. Obviously, I mean, she was his love interest. And yeah, it was not a whole lot of interaction with the other women.
No.
And the scenes with Carlala weren't anything really like deep or significant to him. They were just sort of she was asking him what's going on, and he's telling her about the story.
It's someone in his life that cares,
right? Someone in his life who cares, but it's it's really just her scenes are basically to explain what Marwin is and what it means to him. Because she asks him well, what happened in this, and he explains, and she's like, oh, why that happened, and he explains, and you realize, oh, well, that's a parallel to this thing that happened in real life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's sort of the point of her scenes.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just, this movie was weird.
And the ending was kind of anticlimactic, although you expected it to come. He goes to the sentencing, and presumably they get, the biggest sentence.
Max sentence.
And then he goes to his show, the showing of his work. And so, I was saying, mixed in, I looked up a little bit of the actual work of this guy, and so the ones that weren't just screenshots from the movie were all the other ones were all his. So all the ones where he's dancing with the girls in the bar and stuff, those are all made for the movie. But then the ones of the one soldier carrying the other ones that look like they're taken out Band of Brothers.
Yeah,
there's some cool ones of guys in jeeps and they're like silhouetted and different things. The ones that look like screenshots from Band of Brothers, those are the actual.
Just done with dolls.
Yeah, just done with dolls.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything else to add to this. It's an okay movie. Like, if you want to see an artsy movie because it makes you feel sophisticated and smart, then I guess this is the movie for you, because there's not really anything else in theater like that right now.
I was expecting some, like, the movie be kind of a tearjerker, and it wasn't.
No, not really. Like, there's some parts where you're just, like, really angry on behalf of the guy.
Yeah, you feel bad for him, and you're angry that he had to go through this stuff. But yeah, I was nothing like really, brought tears to my eyes or anything. I didn't get misty-eyed at any point. I was expecting to at some point.
Yeah,
and I didn't. It's kind of just a very odd movie.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess we end it there. I mean, if you're interested, I guess go see it. But the animation was neat, but the rest of it was kind of
yeah. All right, so we've got 2 more movies we plan to review before the end of the year: Vice and Stan and Ollie.
Yeah.
Which we need to look and see that Stan and Ollie is actually going to be playing anywhere near us, because it seems like the kind of movie that we look at and go, oh, I want to see that, and then has, like, the weekend comes, we find out, oh no, it's a really limited release and it's not playing here.
Yeah.
Because we get that from time to time. What was
Darkest Hour?
Darkest Hour was like, there was something more recent than that, I think, wasn't there? That we really wanted to
the
see?
Sisters Brothers.
Yeah, the Sisters Brothers was like that.
We had to wait until it got a national release before we saw it, but it was like in theaters and select areas for several weeks before that.
Another John C. Reilly movie.
Yeah,
because Stan and Ollie's John C. Reilly without Will Ferrell, which means he'll be really great in it. So yeah, that's all that's left for the year. And then January is looking fairly light. It's just kind of a lot of stuff that's like we kind of want to see, like Escape Room, The Upside, Replicas, and Glass. Nothing we're like super excited about in January. Except I'm super excited for The Kid Who Would Be King to come out, so we can stop seeing that trailer. And then February has the first the first movie we're excited to see in 2019, which is the Lego Movie 2, the second part, which looks awesome. Is this video coming out tonight? This one we're recording right now?
No, I don't know.
Tomorrow at the latest?
Yeah, probably.
Be a Christmas release.
Yeah.
So if you're watching this or listening to it on Christmas, I highly recommend you go check out the Lego Movie 2 Christmas short, if you haven't already. It's only a couple minutes long, and it's neat, and it's funny, and it's cute, which is like all the things you expect from the Lego Movie franchise at this point. I say at this point. They've had one movie.
They had 3 movies. I mean, it's not...
Well, okay, yeah. Yeah, there was also Lego Batman. I wouldn't count Lego Ninjago as...
Yeah, that's different, but the Lego Batman was the same Batman from the Lego Movie.
Yeah, yeah. And then there's Cold Pursuit starring Liam Neeson, which I'm excited about. It doesn't look good, but it looks like an entertaining movie.
Yeah.
Then there's Alita Battle Angel, which if that movie fails, say goodbye to like Hollywood adaptations.
We
of
saw a trailer for Isn't It Romantic today, and it looks like a really clever concept.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about the movie.
No, but there were some laughs in the trailer. The few things I chuckled at, and the concept is clever.
I mean, I have a general policy in life of not seeing any movie starring Rebel Wilson.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Which is funny. I'm looking at the stars listing here on IMDb, and she's not in it. Like, how low is her billing?
She's the main character, and she's on the poster.
I know.
That's weird.
Yeah. Anyway, and then there's also How to Train Your Dragon 3, which is the final chapter. Oh, okay.
It's in
because
order of appearance, or
no,
what?
because on IMDb it's sorted by IMDb star meter, so it's
Oh.
in order of like how popular these actors are. I think.
Oh, okay.
So it's not by billing or appearance. Anyway, that's weird. I haven't seen that before. But yeah. So that's what we got out through February. Yeah. So. Couple things in February we're pretty excited to see, and then some stuff in January that's we'll probably go see because there's nothing else to see. And if we want to go see a movie in January, those are our options. But that's how January always is. It's always a slow month for movies. Yeah. 2019 though, overall, expecting a lot out of it movie wise, because man, there are 11 major movies being released by Disney. Between Marvel Studios, Disney Studios, and Lucasfilm. There are 11 major movies coming out. So, yeah. That's what we got coming up. So if any of that sounds of interest to you, subscribe to the channel so that way you can see when we release it, and check out our other stuff. We review lots of movies. Especially this month. This is what, our 9th thing we've reviewed this month?
I don't even know.
Something like that. And we've got 2 more.
Yeah, I don't know if it's been that. I don't know.
Anyway, yeah. So check out our other stuff if you like movie reviews from people who are definitely not qualified critics. But I would
qualified to give my opinion on movies.
I would say we have an above understanding though of how movies are made and what to expect from movies, though, right?
Yeah. I think so.
I'd like to think so. But yeah, so that's what we got coming up. Check this stuff out. And yeah, until next time. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Toodles.